and sit down.
All right, Eric, did you shut up and sit down?
Yeah, I think I did. How's it going?
It's going all right, man. It's been a while. We haven't done this for, 2 months or
About
more?
2 months, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got sidetracked with life.
Yeah, hurricanes, we survived.
Yeah, thank goodness, man. We made it through okay. It set us back a little bit. Had some damage to some property here that prevented me from getting back here in the studio. But we're back. We made it through okay, thank God. And we're ready to talk.
Yeah, let's do this. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has, man. What have you been up to lately?
Not a lot. Of just trying to work on some personal projects and stay busy, with
Man, you're
work.
Good, you're good about that. I'll admit, I am completely and utterly terrible at remembering to pick up my camera when I'm not working.
I've noticed.
I mean, you carry around your little pocket camera with you everywhere, and you document your family, and I'm just lousy at it. For me, as much as I love photography and as passionate as I am about it, you'd think I'd carry a camera with me everywhere, but I usually just have my cell phone.
I think it's something that, just like everything else, you have to build a habit of. When I picked up my Fuji X70, I had to make a habit to take it everywhere with me, and I had to make a conscious decision all the time to make sure I was shooting interesting stuff for my kids and stuff. And then before you know it, I was just doing it all the time. Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do because sometimes I feel like, when I'm working, I'm away from my family, and then when I'm not working, I kind of want to be involved with my family. Mm-hmm. So I kind of feel like if I pick up my camera, I'm going to make my family think I'm working or take you out of the moment kind of thing. But you do a beautiful job of documenting your kids and the trips you guys take and just going to the beach or whatever and just going to the park and you document that. And I need to learn that from you, man. You got to show me. But you've been doing some different kinds of personal projects lately.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of film work, some short films, and just putting my DSLR work to work with video. Yeah,
you've been doing some short films?
Yeah, I did one for CC7D a couple months ago, which is a 7-day film project. And then that one was called Ringo, and we were nominated for Best Cinematography. And then I just wrapped up a Friday the 13th 10-day film competition where we took home Best Videography.
But you were the lead videographer, and the cinematographer for both of those. So you can toot your own horn a little bit there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, they look great. I was impressed. For somebody that you say you didn't have that much experience with film, you're killing it, man.
Yeah, my interest lies in the cinematography, director of photography area when it comes to film, and I just use a lot of what we learned or what we'll learn in photography. A lot of the same lighting aspects and composition aspects and stuff. They all kind of gradually go into the film.
Yeah, and that's something that I love that you kind of have that knowledge that's growing for you because it's going to help us as we grow the Pixel Collective beyond just the podcast, but into doing video as we're recording this for video right now.
Yeah.
So being able to have that eye for video, just as you do for photography, it's going to be really helpful, and I'm excited about that. We're doing some cool new things with the Pixel Collective. We've partnered with some great people, and we've got some neat stuff lined up. I'm going to throw a little free plug in for Corpus Christi Camera. Charlie and Karen over there are great people that are excited to be a part of this with us and to help us out when we need them. And we went over last week, and Charlie gave me a call and said, "Hey, I've got a new product. Come check it out." And I said, "What is it?" And he goes, "I can't tell you. Come see." So it's like, okay, so we're going to go over there and do an unboxing of something I had no idea what it was, but I got there and they had the new Polaroid 1-step 2 camera, which basically looked just like the one from 1977. And we did a little video for that. That was fun. But man, talk about shooting for yourself. That would be something to take out and
definitely
document like people used to do, instant film and print, and that's kind of a neat way of doing things that we kind of forget to do these days. I know I don't print much.
I have one of those little Fuji Instax cameras that I got for my oldest daughter, and She kills it with that. You know, she'll
Yeah.
like just take it around when we have different events like Thanksgiving or something. But those are pretty cool. The little instant Polaroid.
Yeah,
cameras.
I have an Instax camera that I haven't used in like 2 years, but I have the printer, the Instax printer,
okay.
so you can any image that you have on your phone, you can shoot over to that. That's cool. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really think that that's something that I need to focus on is the importance of finding maybe a personal project or the importance of shooting for yourself. For me, I got into photography and became a wedding photographer after I discovered that I loved photography for me. So I got into photography to shooting landscapes and nature and stuff. I found so much joy in that. And then it just kind of, for whatever reason, I ended up becoming a wedding photographer. And now I forget to go and shoot nature and landscapes and stuff for me.
Well, it's like they say,
what made me passionate about it in the first place.
It's like they say a painter never paints his house, you know, and a mechanic always has a broken down car, and a photographer doesn't document their own life, you know. It's something
for me,
that
that's true. Wow.
We have to remind ourselves to do, because if we don't, then we're going to look back and
that's something I've been working on lately. I used to have a lot of Fuji camera stuff. I've sold most of that because I just wasn't using it enough, but I kept my X100F for that reason. I want to use it more. I just need to make.
Man, that camera's amazing.
You say, you got to make time to do it. How do you make time to do it?
I don't make the time. I just make sure that I just do it. You know, like if we go to the park, I make sure I have my camera with me. If we go, we went to the Rockin' Mazes the other day, and
the corn maze, yeah.
Yeah, and I brought my X70 with me, and but I decided to test drive the video on there, so I did a little bit of video, a little bit of photography, but I just make sure that that I'm taking photos and I'm doing video, but I'm not doing too much to where I'm an annoyance to my family. You know what I mean? Like, because I need to help my fiance out with the kids and stuff, but I'm just doing just enough to make sure I get a little bit, and then I throw the camera back in my pocket. But I think that's the beauty of the Fuji X70 is that it fits right in the pocket, you know? So I'm not
it really is
anything.
a pocket. I mean, for me, my phone is my pocket camera, but I still don't pull it out and use it. I never shoot videos with it. I only use it when it's like, oh, I need to take a picture of something to remember.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, take a picture of this so I can look it up later. You know, that's what I do. But for me, I've got to learn how to find that balance of not overdoing it and losing being in the moment, you know, completely. Because I would hate to go to an event for one of my boys and be so caught up in photographing it that I don't even see it with my own eyes. So that's kind of my catch-22 with documenting my family and life and just shooting for me, because I don't want to, like you said, be an annoyance or be like I'm not paying attention to what's really important.
Because the last thing our wives want us doing is during our birthday party is having a camera up to our face, you know? But then at the same time, they're like, you didn't take photos? It's like, oh, well, crap.
Yeah, that's what you got to find that balance. Yeah, absolutely, man. So, I mean, for our listeners out there, let us know how do you find time to shoot for you? You know, with life is busy. We all have jobs. We have families. Maybe we have kids. Maybe we've got jobs and things that just keep us busy.
Yeah.
But how do you make time to find the joy in photography?
It's like Jerry Jonas. He has a quote in some video I saw a while back where he says, "We spend so much time documenting other people's lives that we forget to document our own."
Yeah, really.
And it's important, because when we look back, 10 years from now, we're gonna have all these albums of all these other people's memories and be like, we don't have any of our own.
So maybe I need to hire a photographer to come and follow my family around.
There you go.
Hey, you busy this week?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were talking. Just to kind of segue here a little bit, you were talking about how you like the little X70.
Yeah.
Let's go to another extreme, because last time we spoke back in the end of July, we were really, really railing hard on Nikon and talking about how they are in serious trouble and they need a game-changing something to happen to survive, I think. And just a few weeks after that,
Yeah.
I think they may have done that. They announced the D850, which on paper looks to be like Jesus in camera form.
Yeah. No, it's like definitely a game changer for Nikon.
Yeah.
It's bringing back their relevance. One of the things is that there's really nothing that is in the D850 body that's revolutionary. It's just everything that it does have that
It seems like a lot of times you see camera manufacturers will release a camera, but they'll hamstring it in some way. Like,
exactly.
Like Canon has the new 60 Mark II. How have they hamstring it? Well, it doesn't shoot 4K, and that's something that a lot of people are mad about for the video side. It only has one single SD card slot. A lot of people are mad about that. So they kind of camera manufacturers are deliberately leaving things out to get people to buy another camera. But I don't think Nikon did that. I mean, they've literally, it's like they thought of everything.
Yeah, and now that I've been into video too, it's a great camera for video, and it's a great camera for stills. It's like this is all around like just a beast.
I saw that DxO Mark released its scores for it. I think it was like a 100 or a 99 that it scored, like the highest ever. Not that matters. I don't think the gear really ultimately matters. I was reading a quote just earlier this week, and it made me think of this. And I don't know if I can find it while we're sitting here, but it was along the lines of a portrait. It's not made with the camera, but by the photographer. It was something along those lines. I'll see if I can find it later.
Oh, it's made with your eyes.
Yeah, but it's like it rests with the photographer. It's the photographer that's making the image, not the camera. But I like gear. I like, you see this and you're like, oh, is this going to make me a better photographer? It's not.
Well, I think the way I see it is that it's a tool, and is the tool going to make my job easier or harder?
Sure.
If there's a carpenter and there's a hammer that makes his job a lot easier, maybe it's time to upgrade his hammer just to save time, save time in post processing. And I think the Nikon D850 with its ISO capabilities, its autofocus capabilities, if it's going to make my job as a wedding photographer easier, then I think
I know you got your eye on it, don't you? I mean, you're shooting 750s now.
A 750 and the X Pro 2.
Yeah,
and I love my Fuji X Pro 2 for. I love it for like get ready. I love it for the ceremony. Now that the new flashes came out for the Fuji, the little flash points, I'm doing some really cool reception work, some off-camera flash work with the Fuji. But there's times where the Nikon D750 will shine when I really need to make sure that I'm not going to miss my autofocus or continuous focus. Then I'll switch over to my D750. But I like shooting dual cameras with the Fuji and a Nikon. And if I were to pick up the 850, I might just do X Pro 2 and the 850.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's always, we talked about last time how the D750 kind of felt like it was not up to standards with the build quality, and a lot of people have had trouble with them falling apart.
Oh, mine's falling apart.
Yeah.
Have you seen mine? It's like
but I actually got to check out the D850. I was in Austin a few weeks ago and went by the camera store up there, and they had one. I was like, oh, I want to see that. Let me see it. So I got to hold it a little bit. It's solid, man. It's definitely built better than the D750.
How is it compared to like the D800 series? Like, is it about the same size? Weight?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've used the D800. It's certainly solid. It felt good in the hands. Yeah. So and I noticed that the flip screen on the back was much more sturdy. Yeah, than the D750.
Because that's one thing that I do like about the 750 X Pro 2 combo is that they're both pretty small bodies. I use 1.8 lenses, the G series 28 and the G series 85, and they're both really tiny lenses. They almost feel plastic made too, but when you get that lens on the D750, I mean, it's just so light. And then the same thing with the Fuji stuff, I use the F2 lenses that are so small and light too. So, at the end of the night, my back's not killing me. And I mean, I just shot a freaking 14-hour wedding the other weekend, and I felt fine really afterwards.
Speaking of, weight and carrying stuff, so I started shooting with Canon 5D Mark IVs back in the end of May, I think it was. And I've absolutely loved it. I feel like it's, gear doesn't make you better. But I think moving to these cameras really made me more efficient, and my hit rate improved, and I think it's been a good deal for me. But recently, shooting a corporate event, I was carrying two cameras with a 35 and an 80 or a 135 because I don't have an 85 right now. So carrying two cameras with 35 1.4 and a 135 f2, kind of heavy pieces of glass with full frame 5D Mark IVs that are bulky kind of cameras. One on each hip was like, this is ridiculous. So I actually sold my 24 prime and bought a 24 to 70. I have not owned a zoom in like, I don't know, 3.5 years. I never used it. But I bought a 24 to 70, and I'm absolutely loving it because when it comes to the reception time at a wedding or shooting a corporate event like a party or something, I'm just carrying one camera and one lens.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, man, it was so nice last week. I shot a wedding, and it was a very long reception. Like the whole wedding was basically reception, and it was reception for like 7 hours, right? I carried one camera, one lens. It was great.
It's been a long time since I've done that. I used to own the 24 to 70, and I just found myself never using it. But then the times,
that was same as me for forever. I never used it.
The times that it's just a tool. It's a good tool to have in the bag because there's times that I was like, man, if I just had the 24 to 70, I could just have one body, one lens the whole night. And I think it's just a good tool to have. Definitely, I miss the 70 to 200. I never really used that either, but then there's some situations where I'd like to have that around.
Yeah. Don't get me started on 7200 because I told you this the other day. I was over at the local camera store, Corpus Christi Camera. Again, free plug. Last week, and they had one sitting on the shelf, and I had my camera. I was like, "Hey, Charlie, let me check that out. I haven't shot with the 70 to 200 in a long time." Years ago, I had one and never used it, so I sold it. But that was before when I was shooting Nikon and all that. Long story. But Charlie said, yeah. And he took it out of the box, and I put it on the camera, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I forgot what it was like to shoot at 200, Yeah. That compression is so great.
It's a look,
So now I'm like thinking, okay, I've got this. I could sell this and get that.
Yeah.
It's like a constant. I preach so much to people. Gear doesn't matter. And I'm the worst. I have the worst gas for gear, trying to get something new all the time. I need professional help, man.
Yeah, I like the 7200 just because you can, it's kind of snipe candids from a distance during the reception and stuff. The only thing the reason I remember I stopped using them is just because the difference between 2.8 and 1.8 was a pretty significant amount of light. So,
but there's also a big difference between 85 and 200.
Yeah.
So. Plus, you get IS or VR.
Yeah, which 7200 do you have your eye on?
The Canon one, the the Series 2 f2.8. Yeah, but there's also the new Tamron.
Yeah.
I had the Tamron for my Nikon, the original Tamron 2, I guess it was the original one with VC. Not the original Tamron, but the second one.
Yeah.
And that thing was fantastic. It had a few little quirks about it, but overall, it was just like the most bang for your buck you could get. But there's a new version of the Tamron, the G2 series, that I've just heard amazing things about. And it's like $1,300, where the Canon one's like $1,900. Save $600 or more. That's one I'm going to see if I can get my hand on. Maybe I'll rent it and see how I like it. Yeah, see how it compares to the Canon. Maybe we'll do a video of that. That'd be a great video for the Pixel Collective. Yeah. So, moving on from gear, I am a member of a group called Fearless Photographers. I was so stunned and honored to be selected to be part of that group of really amazing photographers. I don't think I'm worthy of that at all. I see some of the work on there, and it's like, what am I doing here? But they just released here in the last few weeks their Fearless Awards, the collection, I think the number 39. And they do, every few months, they take submissions from fearless photographers for the best photos. And let me give a little backstory of what Fearless Photographers is. Fearless Photographers is a group of photographers that or a directory of photographers. You know, how do I explain it? Again, I don't feel like I fit in here at all. They say on their website, we want to make finding your wedding photographer just as fun as exciting as searching for your wedding venue, shoes, dress, cake, yada yada yada. It's a Fearless Photographers is a showcase of the best wedding photographers in the world who are constantly striving to surprise you with wedding photos that will amaze you. And they do their awards every 2-3 months where people will submit their favorite photos.
You can definitely see the difference between a traditional wedding photographer and then someone on a Fearless photography list.
Yeah, this is not traditional wedding photography. Mm-hmm. This is, to me, the people that win these awards through Fearless are next level artists that just capture amazing stories. Every single image just oozes a story. And I think that's one of the most important aspects of any kind of photography. If you're just taking a picture of something just because you're taking a picture of it, but it doesn't tell a story, whether in the moment that you're capturing or your composition or the way the light is in the scene, what's the point?
Well, I think that it's like next level stuff. I mean, I think it's telling a story, but it's also with amazing composition.
Oh, incredible.
Amazing lighting, like just all on a like next level artistic wedding photography.
So much of it looks completely unstaged.
Yeah, and that's
like I don't think I've ever seen a moment like some of these. I mean, I'll go through its collection. If you want to look at them, it's fearlessphotographers.com, and it's collection number 39. And just we'll go through a handful of these, and we'll kind of talk about them, and we'll show them on the screen for the video so you can see them too. But some of them are just really amazing. Like here's one by a photographer named Paul Wu in Columbus, Ohio. This was a unanimous selection. It looks to me like a bride in her veil as she's walking down a pew, but the light coming in from a stained glass window is just making her veil just awash in all these colors, and it looks like a painting.
Yeah,
that's amazing to me. Let's go a couple more here. This one's great by Pasquale Menenti in southern Italy. It's an image of a. You want to take this one?
Yeah, it's. I'm assuming the groom, possibly.
I'm guessing. Yeah,
doing a handstand in the water with his ass basically hanging out, and then the bride in the foreground. Just busting out in laughter, but it's just the composition is just well balanced.
How do you even capture a moment that perfect? That's incredible. Good work to Pasquale. Absolutely. If I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize.
Pascal, maybe?
Pasquale. Yeah. This one's amazing. You see a lot of these where the photographer's kind of focusing on the grandparents because there's so much emotion in the grandparents at a wedding. This one, it looks like it's the grandmother, and she's filling most of the frame. But if you just glance at this, you think it's just a picture of an old lady. But if you look closer, you can see the reflection in her glasses. You can see the bride as she's getting ready, and the grandmother has tears in her eyes. That's wow,
pretty amazing stuff.
Absolutely. I love this one. This one's by a photographer from Antwerp, Joshua DeHont. This looks like my wife yelling at one of my kids. This boy is getting threatened by his mother within an inch of his life, I guess, because he's acting up at the wedding, and it's just
great moment.
Great story. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pick one. You can tell me if you see one you want to talk about.
Let's see.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that looks like they're visiting. I guess family member that passed away.
Yeah, visiting the graveside.
Mm-hmm. On their wedding day.
Yeah.
Yeah, powerful image.
Go through a few more here, and you can stop me when you see one that you want to talk about.
Yeah. See, okay, we can get into this. Drone shot. So this is an overhead drone shot of a couple lying down on like a bridge with all the water beneath them.
Maybe,
pier. And they're laying down, looking at each other, having a moment. But this is one thing I was telling Dustin is that the drone photography is something that's just really exploding right now.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone was getting a drone. I noticed, like everyone, but for a lot of video stuff. But now I'm seeing photographers use them for stills, and a lot of local photographers too are doing some really amazing stuff. And I know you got a drone.
I do, that I've had for just a few months, and I'm just haven't figured out how to use it for what I want to use it for yet. And I'm not sure what I want to use it for yet. I've done a couple of little video things just on family trips, and I actually used it on an engagement session downtown a few weeks ago, and got an overhead shot, the couple laying down, kind of sort of like this, but nowhere near as amazing. There's just something about this image. It's perfectly composed. It has complete and perfect balance and symmetry, which for me, my style, I love symmetry and balance. I love that this line of this pier is calm, and it's them. They're calm. And then on either side of them, the water is crashing around them.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The different layers and elements there. I want to get out and use my drone more and learn how to use it for photography.
But seeing photos like this, it really shows how it can really
Absolutely
make you stand out from a pack, being able to shoot with the drone like that. But
yeah, this is a
pretty
photographer,
amazing.
Eugene Michelle or Michael in Spokane, Washington. It's, man, props Eugene. That's a killer image.
There's
absolutely
a local guy, I believe his name's, I don't know if you're familiar with him, Michael Diamante or something like that.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of drone photography, and he's done some really, really cool stuff that I'm just like, whoa. That's
Hey,
pretty
Michael,
awesome.
come show me how to fly my drone. Shout out to Michael. He's great, man.
We need a
He's
lesson.
Really talented guy. Go through a few more of these here. That's great.
That's looks like man, could be a wedding planner opening a bottle of champagne for the bride and groom, and the bottle just seems to splurge all over the place,
Explode all over her.
explode all over her. So it just catches
champagne,
the
just a gush of champagne flying right out into
catches like a perfect stream right into your forehead.
Cyprian
Pretty awesome.
Liganeru from Frankfurt.
See, I'm like, man, I don't capture stuff like this. Like, when did these moments happen?
Yeah,
see, that's freaking amazing.
This is amazing. Yeah, from photographer Mike Spinnick from Central Italy. A lot of people do, and I do a lot of this too when I'm shooting receptions at a wedding. I'll drag the shutter.
Yeah.
That's that long exposure, or not long exposure, a long shutter speed. Maybe a tenth of a second or an eighth of a second, but stop down to like F10 so you can really get a lot of depth of film.
Then the rear sync flashes.
And you do rear sync, and you kind of drag the shutter, and you get these streaky lights and lines, and you can really kind of capture the motion and the energy during a party. But I've never seen one like this. So it's look, maybe it's the groom or a few of the groomsmen maybe, and they're holding one of the guys up, swinging him around, and then in the foreground is a dog that's being swung around.
Yeah.
I've never seen a dog being swung around.
The dog's like taking up about a quarter of the frame or half of the frame, so it's pretty
I love
interesting.
it. That's awesome. Let's see here. One with a real fat cat.
That's great.
That's
Playing
amazing.
light right there.
Johnny Garcia in central Spain.
I wonder if they used that. What's that stuff called that you can buy? It's basically a canned aerosol.
You can't like an aerosol fog or something.
Yeah, I had some of that one time, like 2 years ago, and I tried using it a couple times, and then I could never really get a hang of it. And I think I ended up leaving it at a venue, but
So
it's pretty cool
This
stuff.
is an image. It's a real dark image. It looks like they're in a church with light coming in from a singular window, from a circular window above, and the lights just illuminating the bride as she's kneeling praying, and the groom in front of her. But it looks like the photographer did spray some of that canned fog into the image to make a real ethereal kind of look. That's beautiful. Really is. Let's see here. Go through a few more. There's another drone shot. This one from above, looking down. This is obviously very late in the day because there's a couple on bicycles facing each other, and they are not the main focus of the image. The main focus of the image is the really long shadows of them on their bicycles that extend most of the frame. That's a totally different perspective that a drone allows you to get, is those long shadows. This is by a photographer named Lola Lopez in southern Spain. That's beautiful. Where's that?
Yeah.
That's
Not Corpus.
Lithuania. Donatas Ufo, photographer. Looks like a couple standing on, I don't know if that's, salt.
Yeah,
or,
I couldn't tell you what that is.
I don't think it's snow or rock. Almost looks like salt deposits or something. But it's one of those little people, big landscape kind of images. Mm-hmm. Very cool. That's amazing too. Another one with the grandparent. I'm guessing it's the grandparent, just with her hands wrapped around the bride's arm, and it's a very tight close-up shot. Just to shows the detail of the bride's dress, the detail in the hands of the grandmother, that just shows and tells such a story. That's powerful. So many of these are amazing, really, really amazing. It's like I want to call each one of these photographers and ask them how they did it.
I think I'm just going to sell my gear. I'm like, oh my God.
This makes you want to quit. These are incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I feel like I'll be lucky to shoot like one or two of like images like this a year. I feel like exciting stuff.
I don't feel like I've ever shot one of these, and I've been shooting weddings for like 5 years now. I don't think I've ever shot an image as good as any of these. Wow. Here's one of a bride, and there's an owl like flying right in front of her face, but she's wearing a glove like, I don't know, like
I guess it was probably
the birding trainers wear.
Yeah, it was probably resting on her hand, I guess, and it flew off
right in front of her face. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, there's some really great stuff here. I'll leave the link in the description of the video here, so you guys can click on this and check this out. Fearless Photography. Really, really some great stuff. Check it out. I think it will really and truly inspire you. If whether you're a wedding shooter or not, it'll inspire you to go get creative and find new angles, find new ways of composing your image, and telling a story, because that's what it's really all about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Telling a story.
Yeah. Well, Eric, you got anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
No. Let's keep this going.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fun. We're enjoying this, and I think I speak for both of us. I'm really excited about the Pixel Collective, what it can become. I don't want the Pixel Collective to just be me and Eric sitting here talking to you guys. I want this to be for all of us. It's by photographers, for photographers, and with photographers. So if you've got an idea, if you've got something that you want us to discuss, by all means, reach out to us. Let us know. We want your input. We want you to be involved. We think that if we can give you what you want to hear and what you want us to discuss, we're all going to get better because of it. I want to grow as a photographer. I know Eric does. I know you do. Let's do this together. Let's help each other grow in this art and this passion.
Yeah.
And see how far we can all go with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
I agree.
Well, we'll wrap up episode 2 here, and we look forward to hearing your feedback. And
we'll be back in another 4 months.
Hopefully not. Yeah, I'm hoping a couple of weeks between episodes here. So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk to you soon, guys.
All
Peace.
Right. Peace.